Hi there! This video for today will be about not so lucky finds from Aliexpress, or at least not so lucky finds for me. The main part of this video will be about doll heads that I ordered on Aliexpress. Of course, I ordered quite a bunch of doll heads in the past, way before I decided to make a YouTube channel, but the shop that I used back then is not longer available, and I don't know, I have the feeling that you guys really enjoy when I unpack these, wash them and style them, give them a body and a makeover, and therefore decided to buy more heads of Aliexpress, even in shops that I did not know before, and not every experience is good so far. This year the first order was from the same shop I ordered the Lika-chan dolls from. From this listing, you simply get 5 random Barbie heads. You cannot choose them. It is just like a blind bag just for Barbie heads. I find that pretty much interesting. And you can see here the listing for it. There are 2 buying options to choose from, and one is more expensive. It does show that it would contain more dolls with different skin colors, which is pretty much interesting for me, but I decided to go the cheaper way and order the other option twice. So I paid around €11.67 for 10 heads. That means I paid only less than €1.20 per head, which is definitely a very good deal, especially because of the reviews I have seen. They were all pretty good. There was only one bad review so far that was not happy about the hair, and the hair is not really a problem to me, so I thought, why not? Here we do have the first bag with heads, because I had totally different plans for these packages. I thought I could do 2 videos about them, just a normal review, then a makeover, cleaning of course as well, and 5 dolls each video I thought would be a good thing to do, because 10 dolls at once are a little bit too much in my opinion. But anyway, it didn't work out as planned. So here's the first bag and the first 5 heads. The first doll head we get here is a Millie face mold, and she does not have her original hair. It is an alternative rooting made by a Chinese company, I guess. Of course, the scalp is not painted, it is simply yellow or light blonde, if you would like to call it that way. And the hair is saran. It is pretty dirty and you cannot really see it on the camera, but it is okay overall. Of course, it's also very tangled, but that is to expect. Face print is also okay. There is a tiny misprinting in one of her eye with the blue color, but that is very minimal, so overall that's an okay head. Next head is also a nice Millie head. The skin color is pretty light for a Barbie or a Millie face, and she does not have a misprinted face or anything. She also does not have any empty plugs, so this is also a good head. Of course, despite the fact that she does have this piece of metal junk in her hair, definitely not so nice. Next is a 2003 summer head. One eye is way larger than the other one, so I will not have any use for this head. And you can see she's a glue head, and the glue is really filled up to the rim of this head. By the way, also this girl has metal waste in her hair. Her metal waste has a green color and it is stick to her scalp, therefore I cannot really just pull it off that easy, and I will leave it that way. Next girl is again a Millie face mold, and she does have really nice rooted hair, does have a really nice color. The screening is also okay. I cannot see a damage on it. One eye is maybe a little bit larger, but that is not a big deal. The hairline, the front hairline is crooked, and I will have to fix that with a matching hairstyle, but you will see this head again later in the video, and it was one of the best heads you will see in this video in general. Next again, we do have a Millie face. What a pleasure to see her right again. And this time she is even not fully rooted. She does have quite some plugs missing right on the front of her hairline, and one eye is way larger than the other one. So far, so good. On the picture of the actual product, you can also see that there are a lot of Billies listed, and so I think it is okay. But I really don't like the fact that when you scroll down the page and you look on the pictures they provide there, you can see a big bunch of different dolls, and not just only Billies, but even all of them are looking pretty good. There's not a lot of dirt visible or anything else, so this was not a good bag. But now here comes the second bag. The first head is a cute red head. I think she's nowadays called Mitch. I know it is a Barbie face mold. It's a Barbie Fashionistas face from 2010, but nowadays they use it for this Mitch friend, I guess. So you see this girl quite often. And this head here is no fun. She is really smelly. She does have these dots everywhere. I'm not quite sure what it is. And the tape in her hair is very sticky. The hair is extremely grimy. It is not a fun to hold this head even a bit. And this one here is definitely the worst Barbie head I have ever received from Aliexpress, and I don't think I have ever received anything like that before. I'm also a little bit disappointed that the dirt that is visible on this head is pretty much washed out because of the bright lights of the camera and the other lamps I use, but trust me, this head is really dirty. Next we do have a Chelsea head. I do not really collect Chelsea, but it's okay. The head overall is, the hair of course is very greasy, and even one eye is bigger than the other one, but overall the head is okay. Next, again, a Millie head. This time she does have a colorful streak, but sadly the streak is not correctly rooted. It is simply glued on to the head, I would say. It is not possible to push it through the hole or anything, so it is just a reject head. Even one eye is way larger than the other one, so this head is just a junk head. I have no clue, but maybe that's the reason we get one head more than we should get. The next one here is also a Millie, but I can already see that this bag does have 6 heads instead of 5. But anyway, not quite sure if it's better to get 6 heads that are not really good instead of 5, so yeah, well. Next we do have the, I would say, made to move Asian face, and the head is very dirty. I know, you cannot really see it on the footage, but it is a very dirty head, and overall I have to say, I sometimes read reviews on Aliexpress that people say that Barbie heads do have a really bad smell when they buy them on Aliexpress. I never had that experience before, but now I have it. These 2 bags do smell really bad, and that's pretty much not fun to me. Last but not least, we do get this beautiful Millie head. This time she even has this plastic wrapper around her head. And it's funny because she's the only one that really does have a problem with her face screening. One of her eyebrows does miss some color, and she's the only one that even has plastic wrap around her head. As I said, I think that's kind of funny. So, overall, I'm definitely not happy with this purchase. I would not buy from this seller again. And I found out there is a funny thing that happens with this seller, because at the time I'm voicing over this video, or at the time I'm editing this video, these blind bag Barbie heads, or at least the cheaper option, is not available to be shipped to my country because I'm in Germany. And that was exactly the case with the Lika dolls back last week. They were also not available to be shipped to Germany at the time I edited the video, but now they are again available to ship to my country. Not quite sure why this is happening with the seller, but I do have a guess about that. When I look at the packaging, the clear packaging, the sticker and everything, I'm pretty sure that these products are listed on a bunch of different websites, and I'm very sure they do have different storages or warehouses for the different countries or regions they gonna sell their stuff to, and it is easier that way to pack and send out the packages. But I can be wrong, I simply don't know how Aliexpress works, but it is interesting to me. I was definitely not happy about these products, and therefore I opened a dispute on Aliexpress. It is a choice product, and therefore I do have the right to send it back as far as I understand it, because I have never ever sent anything back so far. I decided to keep one of the bags and send back the other one, and it was pretty easy. I just got a shipping label and then brought it to the post office, and directly when the package was scanned in, I got a notification that I will get my money back, and that was the truth. 2 or 3 hours later, I got my money back for this one. So overall that's okay, but I have to say I never had a more disgusting experience with Aliexpress so far. It is really not nice. The hats are very smelly, they are super dirty, and I don't know, even for €1.20 each piece, that's not acceptable. That's definitely not acceptable, even not for DIY or one of a kind or whatsoever. This is simply a bad product. The next not so lucky find is also all about hats, and this time it's about Disney hats. I'm not a huge Disney doll collector, but I definitely like the faces, and I decided that I will just buy a few hats to mix them up with some different bodies, and of course give the dolls a nice and modern styling, just a little bit different than the typical princess you will see on the shelf all the time. But nah, this also did not work out as planned. This shop I ordered from is not completely new to me. I ordered some tiny stuff before on this shop and I was happy with it. But this time I ordered doll hats and I'm not happy with it. The store name was Good Luckily Used Store. It usually sells overproduction items, I would say. And this listing here for doll hats was part of the choice system. It is still part of the choice system for me here in Germany. Not sure if it is the same for you wherever you are watching my videos from. Choice products usually will shipped with faster shipping, and in case you reach the mark of €10, you will have free shipping. And it doesn't matter if every item is from one seller or different ones, as long as they participate at the Aliexpress choice system. The listing shows a lot of really pretty hats, all around €2, which is a pretty good deal to me, especially because I don't want to have the original bodies nor the clothing of these dolls. And this listing has a bunch of good feedback, so many pictures, and everyone is happy, or at least only a very few people are not happy. And I can also already tell you that this seller here does remove negative feedback, or at least feedback that the store, the seller, or the selling group, I have no clue, is not happy about. Not only text, also pictures, and even pictures or text that I don't think are bad, but not quite sure. This is definitely not a good listing at all, and I had no idea about that, because honestly I purchased these hats because of a review, but I didn't screenshot it, and it is gone now. There was someone who showed the Elsa hats on action doll bodies, and I really liked it, because I recently also showed you at least one action doll body, and there will be more in the future, and I really was interested in using Disney hats on bodies like this as well, so I made my order. I ordered 6 doll hats in total. And right through the bag I can already see that we will get a problem, because the hats that I can see here inside of the package are not the hats that I ordered. Let's start with the hat that I actually ordered. I think it's a Disney Descendants Alice, or daughter from Alice hat. I have no clue about Disney Descendants. I just bought the hats because I like the look of it. Sadly, she does have a rub on her eyebrow, and also a good chunk of her upper lip is missing. Overall, not a real great start. The next one, I guess, is also a Disney Descendant doll hat, and she's very pretty. I ordered her. Her face screening is fine. Her hair is poly like with all of these heads because they are made back from Hasbro and they only used polypropylene for their doll heads. But this one is pretty nice and you will see it in another video where I can use it with other bodies. So this girl is okay. I'm happy with her. This is the third girl and the last girl that I actually ordered. This is Anna head from the Wreck-It Ralph Comfy Squad princess dolls that were available a while ago. And I think she is the one that was available with her sister in a 2-pack. Maybe this face was also used with other princess dolls together, but I'm not too sure about that. She is totally fine and you will see her later in the video. Next is Snow White. Yeah, it is Snow White. I also bought a Snow White, but this is not the one that I have bought. The one that I have bought is also one of the Wreck-It Ralph heads, the Comfy Squad heads, and I really wanted to have this particular doll head and not just a Hasbro Snow White. So I'm not quite happy about this head. Even though it is okay, the eyes are a little bit wonky, but overall the quality is, as I said, okay. Fun fact, I bought the Elsa head twice because I really wanted to do a special video about Elsa and Anna. I really wanted to show them on, as I said, a very different body than usual, so I wanted 2 heads. Both Elsa heads are the wrong heads. This here is the head that I ordered, and these are the heads that I got. The first Elsa head does have a good screening. There's only a little bit of white missing one of her eyes, so that's fine, but her hair does have a problem. It is a dirt stain that stained the hair and even the vinyl underneath it. It is a pretty much severe damage, because it is visible right away. The second one does not have a problem with the hair, just with one of her eyebrows. There's a good chunk of paint or screening missing on one of the eyebrows. Next is again another head, and I forget, I also ordered this head, but I was not happy about it because she does have a popped bubble in her vinyl right directly on her nose. Definitely not happy about that because it is right away visible. If it would be somewhere else, under the chin, on her back, or on her ear, I don't know. It wouldn't be that big of a deal, but right on her nose, that's definitely not good. The listing does show us nice and perfect heads, maybe a bit dirty on 1 or 2 pictures, but the routing is okay, the face screening is fine, and therefore I don't think that this order is acceptable, and therefore I also opened a dispute for this order. For all the wrong heads, because when I can choose a specific doll head, I want that doll head. And if there is one head wrong in a bunch of good heads, I would not open a dispute. I'm pretty flexible, to be honest, but I don't like the fact that I get a totally different head multiple times in even one order, together with heads that do have damages in vinyl, and screening, and even dirt stains in the hair. So overall, this is simply a pretty much bad buy for me. As I said, it is a choice system item, and this time I did not have to send back the heads. The seller just gave me my money back. Of course, your experience can be totally different from mine. Maybe you bought on the first seller these Barbie heads and you were really happy about the assortment you get, and even with doll heads from this seller here. But this here's my experience. I can only tell you what I think about it and show you what I got, and I think both orders were simply not okay. The next order I would like to talk about is a little bit different. It's for doll bodies. They're quite newly listed in my opinion, and I ordered them because I have shown an older version of this doll body together with one of the Barbie fakey retro heads. And I recently stumbled across these newer bodies, and I was really interested because of the new joint on their upper thighs, and also if the colors are still the same or what colors they offer in general. You can see here the listing, and you can also see a picture of a bunch of different dolls together with the bodies. These bodies do come in a very large variety of skin colors. Not every seller does have all the skin colors, not even close, but it seems that they are available and I ordered these bodies. Yes, they are part of this video because I have pretty much mixed feelings about these bodies and you will see it with the review. So these are the 3 bodies I got. The first one is super white, the second one is white color, and the third one is the light brown color. The shop I ordered these from is the Hi Me store. I guess that's the name of the store. You will see it down in the description. I have the links for you, but please think about it. This is not a recommendation video. It is only for information, and I'm not affiliated with any of these sellers. At the time I bought them, I paid around €12 each, and the price for these bodies is totally fine, but still I'm not a big fan of these, and you will see that later in the video. But first, you can see them here, how they pose. They do have a really nice range of motion. Also, the quality of the bodies is overall not bad. The plastic is not super heavy, but also not super thin, so it is not the quality of a cheap knockoff. It is still a nice quality body, and I can understand why a lot of people are really happy with these bodies, but I have to say I'm not so much because I cannot really use a lot of heads on these bodies, and yeah, the neck pack is definitely a problem. You can already see here that the screw they use is very short, and the neck pack itself is a heavy metal piece, and after seeing that in person I already know that I will get problems with that. But first, here you can see the old body that I have already shown you in another video together with the new bodies. The skin color is not the same anymore because back in the day when I bought this body, this was simply the white color. There was only one other color option. But anyway, the new super white color is less peachy or less pink. It is more of a real white color, and therefore it goes pretty good together with the fakey retro head. And as you can see here, I have a new one. I also bought the one with the gray hair. I have no plans using the head on this body because I simply prefer a different body for it, but I simply wanted to show you the head together with this body because it is an affordable doll body and the quality is quite nice, and together with this head I guess you usually will not get a problem. But I also will show you the problem that could happen. With the screw you can adjust the height of the neck pack a bit, and therefore I screwed it a little bit more up so you do have more of a gap between the neck and the neck pack, and the head might have a better range of motion. And for this head here, it does work pretty good. As you can see, I think the head matches the body quite nice. The body is even a little bit lighter than the doll head, to be honest, but this is not visible when you put clothes on this doll. And I think the overall aesthetic of head and body goes pretty well together. This head is not so hard, and I decided that I would like to show you what happens if you want to remove the head without heating it up. And as expected, the screw just slipped out of the plastic pack inside of the body. Nothing is broken, everything is fine, you can just screw it back, but the pole or the screw itself is pretty short, and even if you will have a head that does not have a lot of support, which is a little bit more wobbly, you might end up with just a neck pack inside of the head, and you will have to get it out in some way, and spoiler alert, you will see that later in this video also. Or better said, I was not able to get the neck pack out of the head, and you will also see that. So anyway, I had no problem getting out the neck pack out of this doll head because it is tiny, and when it's warm it is pretty much squishy, and I just could grab the neck pack. So not big of a deal. And now you can see here the skin color comparisons for the new bodies together with Barbie bodies. In case you like to use these bodies for Barbie heads or any doll head that you usually stick on a made-to-move Barbie body. Color-wise, from left to right, we do have the super white for this China body. Then we do have the tennis player. Yeah, usually the tennis player looks pretty light in color, but the super white is also way lighter. Then we do have the white skin of this Chinese body, and the next one would be the purple top. Then we do have the green tie-dye and the body with the light brown color on the far right. Here are the closer looks. So as you can see, the super white is still way wider or lighter than the tennis player. The tennis player is lighter than the white color option, but the purple top is more or less exactly the same color. Maybe it is a little bit darker. So this Chinese doll body is right in the between of the tennis player and the purple made-to-move. Here you can see the green tie-dye together with the light brown color, and also these two colors do go pretty well together. I would say the green tie-dye does have a hint of more yellow in the undertone, but it is so minimal. It is more or less exactly the same color. When it comes to posing possibilities for these two bodies right next to each other, they are different, I would say. So you have two completely different but very flexible bodies here. The Barbie made-to-move can simply not pull its arm towards its body. They always stand away, so that's because of the shoulder joint. The other body does not have this problem because there is no shoulder joint, and therefore with this body you can pull the arms right beside the body. For the legs, with the made-to-move body, the legs are touching the inside of the thighs pretty easily, but the Chinese body cannot do that because of this pretty big joint on the thighs. There will always be a pretty big gap between the thighs. There's also no twist and turn joint on the thigh of the Chinese body, but there is a twist and turn joint on the knee, so you can still do pretty much very similar poses like the made-to-move, overall similar, I would say. Talking about twist and turn, the Chinese body does have a twist and turn waist, but no underbust joint like the Barbie made-to-move, so you will not be able to do any slouching with this body. And here we do have some heads that you have already seen in this video. First is the Anna head. Honestly, I did not buy the bodies for these heads, but it happened that they match, and therefore you at least can get a little bit of styling in this video. Snow White is not a 100% match. Her body is, or the body here is, a little bit lighter, but it is minimal, and I think she will get it. She fits the old style body way better in skin tone, but we also already have another candidate for this body in particular, and therefore the Elsa head will get this older style body. She is a little bit, or her head is a little bit pinker than the body, but it is only minor. I was able to get out the staining on her hair and vinyl. It was not easy to do. I had to soak the head into dish soap and vinegar for quite a while, and even then I had to rub around the head, the hair, and I were able to get it out. But as you can see, the texture of the poly hair is a bit damaged. It's not a problem. I even did not pay for this head. I were able to keep it for free. And I don't love this head, but I think it deserves a new life and some styling, and you will see that later. For the light brown body, I decided to take a Barbie head just for you to see how a Barbie head looks on these bodies. The head does not fit 100%, it is a BMR Mitch head. Or, as you probably know, I have quite a bunch of these heads because I really like to use the BMR Mitch body for a few of my hybrids. The BMR Mitch body is not the most beautiful body because it is one of the bodies that do have different colored body parts, so the arms, for example, are way lighter than the torso, but the overall color, especially of the torso, is pretty near to the OG floral barn, and it happened that I do have quite a bunch of heads that need exactly that skin tone. And this girl here does have a pretty much okay or decent screening, and therefore she is lucky. She will get a new body. I had to heat up the heads in order to place them on the bodies, and here we go. The first one is the Elsa head, and she was lying on top of the others. She is not really squishy enough, but I was simply too lazy to heat her up again, so I pushed her down on the body. Everything is fine, it worked, so, but in theory, this head should have soaked into hot water a little bit longer. The overall look is good. I think the head goes pretty well together with this body. Also, the range of motion of the head is fine, so that's pretty okay. Next is the Mitch head, and I have to say I really do not like how it looks. The Mitch head is pretty much squishy, so I decided to take it off and adjust the screw a little bit, so it does have a bigger gap, so maybe the head is a little bit more on top of the neck, but that does not really work out for this body type. It still looks, I don't know, the neck simply is too short for this head, or in general for Barbie heads in my opinion. Here we have the Anna head, and the Anna head is really wobbly. She does have a totally different vinyl than, for example, the Elsa and even the Snow White head. She is also bigger. It seems that the Wreck-It or Comfort Squad girls do have bigger heads than the regular Princess Hasbro dolls have. Here you can see that I raised the screw just a little bit so that there is at least a little bit of a gap between the neck pack and the actual body. I had to squeeze the head quite a bit to get it on this neck pack. The head is still very warm, and therefore the mobility of the head is not so great. The last girl is Snow White. Her head was also squishy, but not as squishy as the Anna head, and it was very easy to put her head on the neck pack. And even right from the steaming hot water, her head does have a good mobility. Here you do have all the 4 girls together. The heads are now cold, and I would like to show you the movement with a cold vinyl head. First, here is the midge head on this Chinese body, and as you can see, the mobility is quite nice. There's nothing to moan about. It's a good working neck mechanism on this doll head. Here you can see the neck differences from the Chinese doll body in comparison to a regular standard made to move. And as you can see, the neck is way shorter, and to me it even looks a little bit like, you find a Barbie doll that is secondhand and the head is pushed down the neck because there is a neck break or something like that. So I don't like how it looks together with this body. I don't like the Barbie head on this body at all. But I will style her with clothing so that you can see her all dressed up and even how she can still do her movement, and maybe that's interesting for you because I think that's what a review is for. Next is Anna. She can move her head now pretty freely, everything is fine. At least I thought everything is fine, because as you can see here, when I tried to give her a new hairstyle, the head came simply off. And I'm not able to get out this dang neck pack. I cannot grab it. I heated up the head a couple of times. I tried to get out this neck pack 2 hours straight, but I had absolutely no chance. Every time I thought I could grab it, it went down inside of the head and vanished. I think nothing is broken, the body is not broken, and when I have more time and energy, I will try to widen the neck, maybe with some chopsticks. I have done that in the past because when the vinyl is warm, you can stretch it quite a bit so that I have a little bit more room to go inside with the pliers and grab this dang neck pack. But honestly, I do not want to cut open this head, so it will have to sit on my desk for a while, but at some point I guess I can free it and then use both parts, because honestly I really like the head on this body. The skin color is a perfect match and even the look is not bad, but yeah, it happened and I cannot change it at that moment. Snow White does have a great fitting on this body. Everything works fine. I also worked with her hair and there were not a problem. And in general, as I said, the vinyl of the Elsa and the Snow White head is way more dense or just harder than on the Anna head. And as I also said, the Anna head is bigger. So in general, I do not recommend using these doll bodies together with big heads. It is a hard time when you would like to get out the neck pack, I guarantee you that, but of course that's up to you. With a smaller head like the retro fakey head, it was really not a big deal. You just heat up the head, hold it in place and then just pull it out, and there's no damage on the head, on the pack or on the body. That's not a problem. But with a real big head, it is just an annoying thing to do. And I simply cannot understand why they did that, because honestly, the original neck pack is fine. And if they really want to use a metal one, they simply have to use a longer screw. This short screw does do nothing, and the neck pack itself is so heavy. It is so much heavier than, for example, a Mengf neck pack that is also made out of metal. And I don't know. The body looks very high quality in pictures, but it does have some major issues. The finishing is okay, so you have seen on the darker skin girl that some of the seams are not completely closed, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to say about this because I'm not the biggest fan of it, but still, I don't think that these bodies are completely bad, but they are simply not for me. I would prefer to get more of the old ones in other skin colors if I would have more Disney dolls, because as I said, I don't like them really for modern standard Barbie heads. But the look of the Disney heads on these bodies are quite nice, I think. Of course, you could also glue on the neck pack or do a neck pack on your own, maybe use a screw that is simply longer. But honestly, when I buy a product like this, it simply should not have those issues. It is not a super cheap body, of course also not a very expensive one, but still, I'm not quite sure if you really get a good bang for your buck. Maybe you cannot really remember the doll heads from the beginning, but here are the two doll heads that will get a styling in this video. Both heads are Millie heads and both do fit on the pink top made to move. So I still have some of these and therefore they both get a new body. But here at first you can see the Barbie hybrid fully dressed. I gave her this leggings and a sweater just for showing you how she could move with clothing. Of course, clothing that is flexible. The Barbie leggings are a little bit loose, but in this case, I guess it's positive because she is more flexible this way. I have chosen to use this turtleneck pullover for her because of her short neck, and I have to say it looks quite good. When she's wearing things like that, you cannot really see that the neck is short, and the posing for this body is good. It is different from Made to Move. It is not the same. You can do a lot of styles you cannot do with the Made to Move, but that's also the other way around. The body in general does have a slimmer appearance, and the joints of the Made to Move are way more bulky, if you would like to call it that way, not quite sure. This body here is more elegant in its looks, but I still prefer the Made to Move body. But I have to consider if I would like to buy a Made to Move girl or a Made to Move yoga doll that usually are not used with the original head. Of course, I know a lot of collectors buy one or two Made to Move girls and they do not change the heads. But in general, I guess most of us that like to do custom dolls or hybrid dolls, as I like to call them, they will change the head and have no use for the standard yoga heads or whatsoever. Anyway, when I like to buy a Made to Move, €17 is the lowest price I have seen in months. I cannot get under this, and usually it is not one of the colors that is very popular. So usually it is the pink top. Sometimes even the wheelchair girl is around for that price. And also the latest one that I got for this price was the purple tie-dye or blue tie-dye. But that's it. I cannot get a doll or Made to Move doll for less than that. And these bodies here cost me a tiny bit under €11 each. Of course, it was at sale time when I bought them, and now they are a little bit more expensive. But for under €11, I guess I would try another skin color or another body of these for a not Barbie doll. I don't like them together with Barbie dolls, but I do not hate them in general, if that makes any sense. I hope so. But I have to admit, this girl here will be my fidget girl. I will keep her on my desk, change the position once in a while, and maybe take her with me when I go out. So I'm not completely mad about it. I just wish that the neck would be a little bit more longer and that the neck pack would not be so stressful, but overall, it is not so bad. I simply expected that I would like the bodies a little bit more. So now to the stylings. We still have a few girls that need a styling. I thought it would be better to show them in pairs, so here we do have the Disney couple, Snow White and Elsa. I gave them a quick summer look that still reminds a little bit of the original colors that they wear. They also get their Disney store dolls. I hope they're happy with it, and I definitely like when dolls do have dolls. It was a little challenge to find shoes for these girls. When I compared the feet to the Barbie feet, I thought that they could wear Barbie shoes, but that's not really possible. Their feet are way wider at the toes, and therefore they cannot really wear a lot of Barbie shoes, at least not the regular ones. So they can wear shoes that are made for the curvy girls. Elsa is wearing, for example, the shoes of the volleyball player. Snow White got a pair of shoes that originally are bought for Blythe dolls. They are pretty often available on Aliexpress and they are advertised as Blythe shoes. They are pretty big on Blythe, but it happens that they fit quite nicely on this body here. I had no plans getting these dolls, but in the end, I'm quite okay with them. I think they are really cute and adorable together. It's a good coincidence that they look each other in the eyes. That's a nice gimmick, so they will stay together in my collection. Here we do have a close-up of the Snow White head. The hair is as expected, it is poly hair, so nothing special, but also nothing terrible. And it is definitely better than the Elsa or the Anna hair, but it stays what it is. It is just poly hair. Elsa had quite a hard time with me, but she survived and I think she looks quite good. Her hair is okay, nothing is really problematic. I gave her this high ponytail because I wanted to give her simply a different look, and also the hair on this doll head is not that good. I know it is poly, but it is very thin, and overall I think the high ponytail simply looks better on her. And here we do have our new Barbie girls, and I have to admit, yes, they look really pretty. The red-haired girl had quite some issues with her rooting. There were loops rooted and knots everywhere, but in the end it's okay. She had some hair loose, but it is a nice quality saran hair, and even after hot boiling it, it still has quite a wave to it at the end. It simply looks cute. I cannot complain about this doll head anymore after cleaning and styling it. But there was a lot of cleaning process this time, even though I did not show it on camera. Honestly, I simply was way too frustrated. The other girl was way easier to deal with. She does not have any parting line in her hair, and therefore she got this hairstyle from me. The saran hair is really nice quality. I have to say that the hair is really silky and smooth. So I have to say this is a nice Millie. And I'm happy that I was able to save her from this very smelly bag of doll heads. However, here's their styling. As you can see, the girl with the blonde hair did get more of an elegant styling, and the cute redhead got more of a summer styling because we have summer, it's hot, and I really like this top. I have not used it on another doll. You might remember it from my big doll clothing haul. It was a free gift. Free gifts are always welcome. So, but it did get a short instead of the long pants that were originally included. The elegant girl got some black boots, and the summer style girl got just these regular white platform chucks that you can see with a lot of Barbies, or at least that you were able to see with a lot of Barbies, because now I don't see them anymore. Here's a closer look on the hair of the dolls. The red hair girl comes first. Of course, when you would like to do another hairstyle with this girl, you would see the yellow color underneath on her scalp, because the contrast between the scalp or the color of the scalp and the hair is simply too big. But if you leave it that way, or if I leave it that way, it's nice and it's okay. The second girl here, the blonde one, is really pretty. I really have to admit that. When I unpacked her or freed her from this package, I did not expect to have this doll in the end. Absolutely not. But this girl does have quite a bunch of rooted hair, especially in the front part of her head. So it was pretty easy to give her this hairstyle. Finally, we are at the end of the video. I'm pretty sure it is a long video for you. I'm not quite sure if all of you are still here. I'm quite sure that's not the case. But at least I hope that some of the parts you have seen in this video were interesting or informative to you. And I decided to do this video with all the items together because I don't enjoy to do negative feedback videos. I don't know how to call it, but I simply don't like to show what is not okay with my purchases. But that's in general the thing I do here. But usually when you see my videos, I'm quite okay with the items I bought, but this time these items here are simply not okay in my opinion. You can have a different opinion. I'm not mad about that. You can tell me that in the comments if you like to. That's totally fine. I can only show you my personal opinion, or better said, tell you my opinion and show you the items that I got. And this time, I'm not quite happy with the items I have here, but I made the best out of it. I did not lose any money, just a little bit of time and energy, and that's quite fine for me. That's what I honestly expect from Aliexpress anyways. I think Aliexpress gets better over time, or is getting better, because things like that happened to me way before I started to make this YouTube channel, and I'm still a buyer on Aliexpress because the prices are simply good, and for me as collector that likes to build custom or hybrid dolls or whatsoever, it is a very nice resource, and most of the time I'm happy with my purchases, but this time I'm not, and I think it is okay to say, no, that's not good, I want my money back, and that's what I wanted to tell you. So I usually don't have to open disputes on Aliexpress, but this time I did. Of course, not for the bodies. The bodies are totally fine. They look like the pictures. They do have some issues, as I told you, and I'm not quite happy with them, but that's not the fault of the seller. And I don't know if it's the fault of the maker of these doll bodies. It is simply something like the neck pack that I would prefer to look different, or that would work better. And maybe I'm not the only one, and on the long run they will change that. I would wish that they do that, because overall it's a nice product. So I will not waste your time any longer. Thank you so much for watching my video, and for watching my videos in general, for, as I said, wasting your time with me. That means the world to me. I'm very happy about that. So I hope to see you again, and until next time, bye!